past couple races, so this definitely helped it in all my news earlier in the week, so it was a good night.
How crazy was it there at the very end of the race, fighting on that restart? Caden, Mason, everybody fight for spots. How tough was that for you?
I think I just made a little driver mistake on that. I tried to go, and then I backed up, and then he went. So I think I just need to get better at my restarts. I think we could have had him, but it was fun racing. This was my last Carolina Pro or Cars Tour race, so with the Pro. So, but it was a good night, so we're happy.
And when you consider that almost maybe 10 minutes before the green flag, there were officials, there were mechanics everywhere. We weren't even sure whether or not this motor was going to go. To end up with a P4 in your last Cars Tour start of the season, probably not a bad night, all things considered, for Katie Hettinger.
The boys of fall are ready to play. And no, we're not talking baseball. It's the home stretch for the Cars Tour Championship. And the first leg kicks off at Ace Speedway's famous 410 Smile. And while they might be doing things Altamaha style at Ace Speedway, this weekend there's a bit of Cars Tour twist to it. Jonathan Schaefer won the last time here, leading flag to flag to capture his first career win. But things got hot behind him. And tonight, we expect they'll get hot again. Connor Hall may still have a fire burning for point leader Carson Quapple after a series of dust-ups at Tri-County.
Is it over between you two then?
It just started.
Speaking of hot, the last time we saw Josh Berry in a Cars Tour race here, things got hot then too. And last race, it was hard to put the brakes on a lot of them as they too got hot and began to lead into chaos.
That 9-car, he turned my teammate, he had his back wheels off the ground, and he just never turned him loose. Not real courteous.
Do you notice a trend yet? Ironically enough, Carson Quapple is out tonight, a result of getting too hot at Zach Miracle following the checkered flag at Tri-County.
It just felt like he straight lined me, and I was tired of it.
So tonight, with a massive championship opportunity, the iron is hot to strike for Connor Hall, Caden Honeycutt, and Chad McCumbee. It's a chance to regain the lost ground and revive hope for a championship. 3 races are left, and 3 pursuers remain. The temperatures are cool, but the action is hotter than ever. Who leaves Ace Speedway $10,000 richer? And who continues to simmer leading into South Boston? It's time to find out. The Puryear Tank Lines 225, presented by the memory of Ken Hepler, is next.
Welcome back to the Ace Speedway, and as you see the cars begin to line up, we want to say welcome to those of you on our Facebook free preview, YouTube, Twitter, and, well, about everywhere else. I think we're on Twitch and much more. It's about that time. There's one of the big stories to the left, that 8-car. Carson Quapple not in it. Josh Berry is. The championship potentially on the line in these last 3 races, and the point leader is not here after an incident with that driver at Tri-County just 4 short weeks ago. Lots of things to unpack, lots of drama certainly to make happen here. There's Mason Diaz. If you're with us for the Pro Late Model race, you saw his run, and if you're watching on the freebie, we're not giving it away. I'll put it to you this way. There was lots of contact, there were lots of tempers, there were lots of feelings hurt, but somebody won the race. That's all I'm going to tell you. You're going to have to go back and watch the archive or check it out. It was one heck of a finish, no doubt. It was dramatic. There was plenty of stuff to make happen, but hey, you know what? We had a good time with it. And if you're watching on social, make sure you tag your buddies. Tell us where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, and tell us how good that guy in your frame looks too. Jack McNelly, one of the guys that makes all this happen, the president of the series, does so much work behind the scenes that most folks just never get a chance to see or have an understanding of what goes on, including that job right there, lining them up and making sure they are, in fact, ready to go. Well, Ace Speedway, let's introduce you to tonight's starters, 25 strong in the Puryear Tank Lines 225, presented by the memory of Ken Hepler. Starting 25th in pursuit of $10,000 from Woodstock, Georgia. Driver number 4 tonight is Hayden Swank. Starting outside of row number 12. In the black, number 21. Originally out of Warrenton, Virginia, it's Mike Darn. And to his inside from Anderson, South Carolina, the white number 10, the Kicking Asphalt Door-Tech Garage Ride, it's Jansen Marchbanks. Starting on the outside of row number 11, out of Oak Ridge, North Carolina, the Lee Pulliam Performance number 2 is Brandon Pierce. And to his inside, the black and white number 59 is Heath Causey. This is a story and a driver to keep your eye on. 3-time and defending series champion, the red and white 22, Bobby McCarty, will start from position number 20. And to his inside, the winner last time we were here at Ace. He led every lap. He's not going to do that tonight, but he may still have a shot at victory. From Ashland, Ohio, the 91 is Jonathan Schaefer. Outside, row number 9. From Dallas, North Carolina, after major engine problems yesterday, made the show, Jacob Hefner starts position number 18. And to his inside, Ace, you know him well. Driver number 7 is Dylan Ward. Starting in position number 16, the yellow and white, number 77, Superman, well, maybe. Say hello to Blake Stallings. And to his inside from Bakersfield, California, the black number 2 is Braden Rogers. Outside, row number 7, fresh off that run in the Pro Late model. Does that perhaps give him an advantage heading to this racetrack? We'll find out. From Manassas, Virginia, the 24 is Mason Diaz. And to his inside, a fellow Manassas, Virginianite. I guess that's the right term. For driver number 81 of Minnie Tyrell. Outside, row number 6 in the Solid Rock Carriers, number 14. Former series champion, it's Jared Fryer. And to his inside, a winner at Hickory earlier this season, the red number 16, it's Chad McCumbee. The top 10, the first one of which we'll announce to you is from Weaverville, North Carolina. Driver number 9 is Ashton Higgins. And to his inside, that is the number 32 of Zach Miracle. Starting outside, row number 4, the black number 8 car out of Virginia. He's had a heck of a run in pursuit of the Bilstein Rookie of the Year. It's Chase Burrow. And to his inside from Zebulon, North Carolina. But there are problems, it appears, in that 5 car pulled down to the inside on the front straightaway. That is Carter Langley. That's a developing story as they button the hood down on Carter Langley's car. Oh, mercy me. Starting 6th in the white number 8 iRacing ride for Junior Motorsports, former series champion, the all-time wins leader. Ace, let's hear it for Mr. Josh Berry. And starting 5th, the winner the last time out at Tri-County from Fredericksburg, Virginia, in the Jones Utilities Toyota, it's Connor Jones. Starting 4th from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the black, red, and white DeWalt Performance 77 is Trevor Ward. And to his inside, the red and white, number 77 from Hampton, Virginia, 3-time winner this season, it's Connor Hall. And on the front row from Aledo, Texas, in the thick of the championship fight, driver number 12 is Caden Honeycutt. And on the pole, making his first tour start since a win here a couple of seasons ago, from Statesville, North Carolina, let's hear it for Ryan Millington. And just like that, the field is set. And fans, just as we did a few moments ago, all right, you had a warm-up. So I want you folks to get this thing together, okay? Let's count them down and get them ready to go. In 3, 2, 1, drivers, start your engines. Love that sound. 25 late model stock cars beginning to rumble and now beginning to pull away. With that, let's take a look at the point standings entering this one. We mentioned the point leader, Carson Kvapil, after what's been a great season. The big statistic in his column was no DNFs. However, he's got a DNS today, not starting. Now, the maximum points you can get is about 35 or so in any given race with the Cars Tour, depending on how you play the bonus point game. So he'll be fine tonight. But what that does, it gives Connor Hall, Caden Honeycutt, and Chad McCumbee very faint hope. And after what we saw at Tri-County, you never know what might happen in those final two races after tonight.
Certainly so, but I think if you're Carson Kvapil, you can't feel too bad. You built up a decent points lead, obviously not going to start tonight. But still, even with that, and given that Connor Hall and Caden Honeycutt would go out and almost get those maximum amount of points, he is still sitting in a great position to try and take home that championship. So a lot can happen. I'm not saying it won't, but can certainly still shake things up.
While the field continues to circulate here on the early pace laps, let's head down trackside for things to watch tonight. From James Pike. What you got, James?
Yeah, Tony, I've got a few themes that I'm going to be looking at here on this late model feature. The first, as you all mentioned, is that we had a lot of tempers flare at Tri-County a few weeks ago. Drivers are known for having long memories. We'll see if they carry over into tonight's race at Ace. Another thing to watch for, yes, you've got the drivers that are trying to make up the gap on Carson Kvapil because he's not here. You've got the Connor Halls and the Caden Honeycutts and the Connor Joneses. But also, think about the names that are up starting near the front that are here exclusively to win. Josh Berry's not running for a championship. He's just here to win. Trevor Ward starts fourth. That's one of his best qualifying runs ever in the Cars Tour. He's only here for the checkered flag. And then your pole sitter, Ryan Millington. He runs here. He runs in Hickory. He's only here to win. And the last time he came here and raced, what did he do? Park in the victory lane. That's a volatile combination when you have drivers racing for wins and drivers racing for points. And I'll be curious to see whether or not it erupts.
Absolutely, James. And yeah, there you see Josh Berry. Now, the Owners' Championship is a thing, but that Owners' Championship is very similar to those driver points we just saw. As long as Josh Berry has an okay night, that Owners' Championship is virtually wrapped up. Ironic that he has done that twice now for Junior Motorsports and only has one Drivers' Championship. Nonetheless, the key stat for Josh Berry, well, that entire screen, 22 wins in about 50 starts, 39 top fives, 47 top tens, and nearly 2,000 laps led. The most dominant driver ever in Cars Tour history, most successful driver in Cars Tour history, and we've seen great things. We're very proud of him, no doubt, for what he's been able to accomplish in his career as he continues to ascend through the ranks.
Certainly so, and 57 laps can easily be done tonight to get to that 2,000 marker.
Certainly can. The lights are out around the famous 410 Mile Ace Speedway. Ryan Millington and Caden Honeycutt lead the field through the KRC Power Steering Restart Zone. The green is out, and the $10,000 to win Puryear Tank Lines 225, presented by Ken Hepler's Memory, is underway. Lap number one, barely, I believe, may have went to Caden Honeycutt or Ryan Millington. It's hard to say. That time by 16 one-thousandths of a second to Ryan Millington as Honeycutt continues to fight on the outside. Millington on the bottom. This time by, it'll go to Caden Honeycutt for the race lead.
Time and time again, we saw Kvapil do it very well on those restarts, utilizing that outside line, especially in 1 and 2 on those cold tires, to try and take the lead. We'll see if Honeycutt can do it now. Millington will fight back in 3 and 4. Right now, these top two, so close and very close at that.
Can't get much closer than that. Whoa, nearly into the concrete, Caden Honeycutt. And I think what we saw in that pro late model race is track position is key. You can I'm not going to say dominate, but you can dictate the pace of the race and what happens. And now Ryan Millington takes the lead all back for himself here on lap number 5. So Millington to the point over Caden Honeycutt, Connor Hall, Connor Jones, and Trevor Ward. It's a good place to be named Connor or have a 7 in your car number. That's about all I can tell you. By the way, if you're watching on social media, if you're on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or Twitter, you can tag your buddies. Tell us where you're watching from, who you are cheering for in this one. Give us your thoughts as this free preview continues to roll. We're going to give you about 25 laps in this one. That's what it's going to be. After that, you got to tune in on the address on the bottom of your frame. And whoa, watch out. Josh Berry sideways further back in the pack, nearly in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich. That's for about position number 8 or so. Hello, welcome back to the Cars Tour, Josh Berry. Things have not gotten any easier.
No, they haven't. And again, those two cars are around each other. Zach Miracle, Josh Berry, but Berry falling on back. And right now looks to not get much easier. Ashton Higgins right now looking to try to get around that 8 car. Not going to be able to do so, but McCumbee very urgent right there to try to move by that 8 car.
Well, I think it's very clear. We know Josh Berry's good, and it's a lot easier to keep him behind you than it is to pass him. So if you can get around Josh Berry early, that's what you're going to want to do. He currently now being scored 9th. And I got a kick out of watching all the keyboard commandos on social media this week when everybody realized Josh Berry was going to be in the 8 car. You know how, and you did it too, I won't lie. It was the, oh, good game, good win, Josh. Thanks for coming out, appreciate it. And I looked at everybody and said, do these people not read a stat sheet? I'm the last person to look at stats, but I will tell you this much. Josh Berry's history at Ace Speedway has not been great, especially when you compare it to the rest of his career. This track has been a bit of a thorn in his side, and that goes to show you just how much of a challenge it is to be successful at Ace. And if you can be good here, you literally can be good anywhere.
You know, it's amazing that he can have a track that's a thorn in his side, but yet he has still managed to win here at Ace Speedway before. So it just goes to tell you the prowess that he's had here over his Cars Tour career.
Absolutely. There you see in the top of the frame, about top 6 or so, single file. As this fight now on the screen is for 6th. That is where Carter Langley lost a spot to Zach Miracle. And now Chad McCumbee trying to follow suit and go down to the inside. Barry thought about it as well. And already I'm seeing that 8 car begin to use more parts of the racetrack. Tells me that maybe the handling not quite what he would look for at this point. Another thing I'm looking at, we're 14 laps in and the rotors are cherry red on Josh Berry's car. Yikes.
Yeah, not a great problem to have early on in this race. We saw that with Caden Honeycutt. He actually had contact with Carson Quaffle, who was driving this car last time. They broke a brake hose and they made contact there, and Honeycutt still managed to hang on for 3rd. So not terrible, but certainly something you'd rather see a little bit later on in the night.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's no surprise to see some cars with glowing rotors early, but
yeah.
I haven't seen them 14 laps in. Tells me Josh Berry is using a lot of brake here early to try to get that car to turn. There you see Caden Honeycutt. He has settled into about a 6/10 or so gap back up to the leader, Ryan Millington, as Berry continues to try to hound the 16 of Chad McCumbee. And, you know, we're watching this. This really is one of the better battles on the racetrack until you get further back, where you watch guys in about the 18th spot or so with Mason Diaz and Jonathan Schaefer, and that's a good story to keep on as well as we continue to watch Josh Berry. But Schaefer, Diaz, guys that start in the back, I think might be the bigger story in this one because, well, there's a lot of really good cars back there. You know, Bobby McCarty, Jonathan Schaefer, Mason Diaz, even Dylan Ward in that 7 car. I mean, dadgum, these guys have got to really get hustling to get around some of these cats.
Well, what were we talking about earlier, just how competitive this series can be, that you can have somebody who dominates and quickly shows back up to the same racetrack that he dominated, led every lap, and is mired back in the pack and is having to fight his way up. Schaefer right now just moved up, but to 16th. It's so hard to try to make your way through this field.
Yeah, as you continue to watch the leaders, that fight we were talking about working its way off turn 4. It's hitting a start-finish line right about now. They're, in fact, right on cue. That gives you an idea of just how far back these guys are. And there you see already playing bumper tag. Bobby McCarty, Dylan Ward. There's Jonathan Schaefer. He's now up to 16th after starting 19th. So Schaefer has moved up 3 spots. McCarty has moved up about 3 spots as well. He's up to 17th. But, man, we're almost 25 laps in, and these guys are making some hay, but not a whole lot. And if you're watching on social media, guess what, folks? You get about 2 laps. That's it. 2 laps to settle it out. Oh, look at this. Josh Berry, Zach Miracle. Berry's starting to get a little heated with Miracle into the back bumper. Oh, boy. Guys, we're 25 laps in. Calm yourselves, please. Well, that's the Bill Stein rookie for you, Zach Miracle. Being a thorn in Josh Berry's side right now. And you know what? If you're a rookie, good on Zach Miracle. Holding his spot, not being intimidated by Josh Berry. Kid's learned a lot this season. We'll give him major props. And we've learned a lot so far for what we can do in these next 100 laps or so. If you're watching on social media, that's it. Head to the address on the bottom of your frame, www.carstour.tv. Because guess what? That is where you'll catch the rest of this one. So this fight right now, 7th position, Zach Miracle trying to fend off Josh Berry. Carter Langley, you saw a little bit further back